Hello and welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Stage 4 of Finnish Brutality 2024, Fire and Ice, tight spaces. And you thought you were going to be in the APC, but you only started out there seated in a ready-to-go position. It was a blind stage. You dashed out. They told you where to go. You had no idea that this was what awaiting you. And tight one down there, super tight position, missed my shot, had trouble getting the muzzle through due to all the attachments on the Mod 3 because it had the light, it had the laser. I ended up having to collapse the stock on the clock. It turned out to be really difficult. Made sure I made the penalty box because at that penalty box there, you had to stay until you got your hit. And the longer it took, the more time it took. Moved out at as fast as a pace as I felt comfortable going on the icy ground. They're not in the picture here, but there were some poppers down there. You got a bonus for each one you tagged. I think it was 10 seconds.
You left the
lost my magazine there on the way. Again, collapsing the stock and getting into position 2 there. Again, the laser and the lighter preventing me from getting in there. Secure the safe the rifle, grab the magazine, because if I left that behind, that would have been a 60-second penalty. And it'd be a stupid one to take. Don't even know why that mag came out of my dump pouch, but it did. Again, collect that popper. Safety on. Move back.
Come on.
Hole 3 here was probably about the easiest. Just a good kneeling position with the stock collapse. I was able to get in there. Took my time, make sure I got it. Probably took a little too much time in all honesty. But then moving back to collect the next popper. Got that weapon on safe, muzzle down range. And then back to number 1. And just this one is really going to, I think, even be a tougher engagement than the first one. You know, stock collapsed. Try to find it just right. The laser and the lighter getting wedged. I can't get on target. And it was just a frustrating experience trying to get in the exact right position. And for all that trouble, a miss.
To the penalty.
So back to the penalty box, which was a frustrating experience. And you notice the ground is icy, slight incline. Again, tried to get this in one shot and did. So because the more you missed, the longer you had to spend there. Go collect another popper. And you can see that space is really tight. I barely fit through it. And yeah, forgot to take the safety off. Dumbass. Made sure I got the popper. Again, probably taking too long. Into position 2. Collapse that stock down. Get in there, aim, get the hit, and get the buzzer. Okay, so welcome to Stage 4. This is called Tight Spots, and they're not lying. It was also a double entendre because it's a blind stage. You walk up to the stage and you see the PATRIA APC there, and you're like, tight spaces. Oh, okay, we're doing something inside the APC. Now, the only thing you're doing inside that APC is starting there, and you're in your starting position. You're sitting in the seat. You got your weapon, and it's just simulating the ramp just went down, and out you go. And you go out, and they direct you to your first shooting position, which is a barricade. It's tempting to call it a VTAC, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It had 3 slots on it. Your first slot was down prone, a horizontal. Your second slot was a angled, and then your last one was just a rectangle up high. Mm-hmm. And they say, go to slot 1 as your first shot, and it's like you maybe have this much room between the vehicle and the barrier. And like in my case, shooting a full-size RK-62 Mod 3 with the laser and light attachments and everything, just getting the barrel through that slot and the space it left me between the barricade and the vehicle, I literally had to collapse the stock to be able to even get behind it to get a sight picture. You had 1 target downrange. It was Virginia count. You missed that target, you've got to go run to a penalty box at the bow of the vehicle. It's just freestanding, many shots as you need to get the hit. Then you ran to the position 2, which was right by the ramp where you exited, and they had 5 poppers all kind of close together, but also 1 shot, popper has to fall. A hit's not good enough. And if you miss there, back to the penalty box you go. Now, on my run, I almost got it. I was there going for my last popper when the buzzer went off. But the thing there was the troubles I had with on number 1 forced me to go to the penalty box twice. Had I not done that, I would have done the stage. Position 2 was difficult because you just had to get in this weird seated kneeling / position, and again get the muzzle through the damn thing. And then position 3 was fairly simple, big rectangle. The thing went right in, easy shot, and then you had to go back to 1, and then you had to go back to 2. Yep. I've got all the shots except 1. Those are the 2 I had to go take the penalty box, and it was just getting in position was the problem.
And you had to commit a lot to get into that position.
Yeah, you had to commit to the position, and when you committed, and if you were a little off, you had to back out and recommit.
Correct. Yeah, pulling the gun out and feeding it through there was necessary for those guys with like longer guns because the space simply didn't account for it.
It just took a long time to get into position on position 1. Yeah.
That's another thing where equipment works against you. It's not the RK wasn't up to it. All the attachments on it worked against it. Because to get the rifle through far enough, it was jamming on the light and the laser.
Yep.
Where you guys were not encumbered by that, and didn't have that problem. If I remember.
And at least I'm used to my gear, and that gun typically doesn't have it. But if in the case where if I did have like a light and laser gun doing that, I use that too, and I think just the case of you using a gun you haven't used before played a big role in that. But it would just by definition would slow you down between that. Yeah.
And also, dumbass here, I'm in armored, so I got a lot of
That's not a dumbass.
I literally should have turned the laser on and gone Viz laser, and I probably would have been better off.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
It would have been worthy of a try.
That's fair.
Because then I could have, if it worked, I could have made up time.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah. But a super simple yet incredibly fun stage. And the cool thing about the competitors here is nobody blabbed. Like, I was the last guy on this one to go, or one of the last guys, and everybody who did it first, well, you did it first.
I did it first.
And you're like, nobody blabbed. You just, everybody found out the same, and which was really cool. And that even extended later because, like, the next day when people who had shot the lower stages were shooting the upper stages, they'd say, "Oh, what's it like?" It's like, it's blind stage. It's really cool. Nobody gave it away. Nobody even gave the hints.
It was really cool to have like the implied, like this is the fair thing, and this is you come to this for the experience, and part of that blindness is the experience. Glad that people preserve that,
and everybody respected it. Just another well-designed stage. We hope you found this coverage of Finnish Brutality 2025 Fire and Ice Stage 4 Tight Spaces helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And tune in tomorrow for Stage 5.